Jaden, that's wonderful. Mr. Jackson worked about as much as Jeremy Kyle's lie detector did now. It won't last, Jaden answered in matter-of-fact tones. My mum says she gives it a fortnight. He grinned then. I didn't know what a fortnight meant before she told me. I thought she was on about the game. Well, Emily began, taking a tissue from her pocket and wiping at the corner of Jaden's mouth to remove cream cheese. You know, in this class, we listen and we don't judge, and we give everyone a second chance, don't we? Jaden made a begrudging noise, shaking his head away from Emily's attempts to clean him up. Rashid's on his third chance with me now. Has he been mean to you again? Emily asked. Rashid Dar came from a seemingly wealthy family who owned a chain of Indian eateries. She had wondered, ever since Rashid joined her Year 6 class in September, why he didn't go to the local private school instead of Stretton Park. Maybe creating fall feasts wasn't quite as lucrative as it appeared to be, or perhaps they simply didn't want to shell out on private education. But, like with her class rules, it also wasn't her place to judge anyone. However, it was her place to try and ensure all her pupils worked at being the best version of themselves. She was their teacher for that last important year before they left for secondary education. Emily had always thought that was the time when they really changed, the time when she watched them going from infants to tweens, finding out who they really were and who they wanted to be. Rashid said there was so much grease in my hair, Jaden said, that his dad could probably deep fry samosas in it. She felt herself bristle. Despite her best efforts, Rashid's self-confidence did come across as cocky and arrogant, and at 10 years old it was slightly worrying. Did he now? Before her cogs began whirring as to how she could attempt to tackle Rashid's verbal bullying, the door of the classroom burst open and in walked the head teacher, Susan Clark, arms full of heavy files, glasses slipping down her nose, lipstick a fluorescent pink, two tight skirts straining with every step. Good morning, Miss Parker. What seems to be happening here? Susan marched towards the table Emily and Jaden were working on with all the determination of an army general about to engage in battle. One of the star mobiles suddenly came unstuck, dangling precariously now from one small sliver of sellotape. Emily began tentatively. She stopped speaking then and internally cursed herself. What was it about this woman that constantly made her feel inferior? She wasn't inferior. She should actually be heading up a school herself now. She restarted, trying to project more confidence. Jaden got here early to hand in his What Christmas Means to Me project. Emily could see Susan's blouse literally weep for mercy as the head teacher dumped the file she was carrying on a table, then took a deep breath, sniffing the air around Jaden's model. Have you made it out of cream cheese? Susan asked, pushing her glasses up her nose, the amber-beaded chain they were attached to catching the light. No, Mrs. Clark, Jaden was quick to answer. That was from the bagel Miss Parker gave me, he grinned. It was banging. Emily bit her lip. She'd be encouraging a cold sore if she wasn't careful. And now she was going to be in trouble. Susan had told her twice that she wasn't to give food to impoverished students as it set a precedent, and apparently a bad example. Besides, they already get free school meals and there are things called food banks. I see, Susan answered, recoiling from the project and setting her eyes on Emily. Susan saying I see really meant she didn't see at all. Jaden, Emily said, taking control. Why don't you go out into the playground now? It's 8 o'clock. You can play some football until the bell goes. Perhaps she would get a tick against the food faux pas by encouraging physical activity. All right, Jaden answered, never needing much of an excuse to turn to sport rather than education. He got up from his seat, picked up his rucksack with the broken strap, held together by gaffer tape, and made his way out of the room. Emily figured then she may as well head off things with Susan as best as she could. Before? You made this model, Emily, didn't you? Susan interrupted, and the volume of her boss's voice cancelled out the fact that Emily had even started speaking at all. Another star mobile came unstuck, dangling right over Susan Clark. If one hit